In Stars in Time is a genuine hidden gem. It's a time loop RPG inspired by the likes of Undertale and Earthbound, with an actual rock paper scissors combat system, a cast of 5 endearing characters, and a narrative that just gets deeper and deeper the more times you loop. Right off the bat, In Stars in Time will take you by surprise. The story is cliche. An evil king has frozen a town in time, and of course the band of 5 heroes are there to stop it. However, the game starts at the end of the journey. You and your party members are level 45 and they're preparing to enter the king's castle and hopefully destroy him. It's here where you get introduced to your party. Sifrin is the main character who is cognizant of the time loop and doing his best to break it. Mirabelle is a housemaid from the Religious Order of Change. She's basically the chosen one in this story. Isabeau is an awkward fighter, and Odile is the wizard and the mom of the party. And of course I can't forget Bonnie, who is a child who likes to make snacks for everyone. Starting near the end is a weird choice, but I never felt lost in the simple overarching plot, and how the characters are developed over each loop is what kept me coming back for more. You loop back to the start when you die or interact with certain objects, and later down the line you can choose to loop back to a save point. On one loop you could interact with an object, and a character could quickly snatch it out of your hands because they don't want you to find out something about their past. But once you are aware of this, there'll be a way around it. Maybe you need to distract them so they didn't notice on the next loop, and once you do that successfully, you might get a new item or a nice interaction between the party. It's going to be impossible to properly discuss the looping mechanic in depth without spoilers. You start a loop in the town of Dormont before exploring the castle. And while you're there, you're exploring it, figuring out its secrets, and then you have to retrace your steps to piece everything together. And once I was in that headspace, I was loving it, taking me back to playing Majora's Mask, trying to figure out where I needed to be to progress the story or complete a side quest for an item that will help me in the future. The looping mechanic is hands down the best part of the game, but it brings some problems. In a game like this, there is some inherent frustration. Having to test things out on one loop, only to figure out that you did something wrong, can be annoying and tedious. And I think the game would have benefited immensely from a journal that Sifrin jotted things down in. A character might mention where an item is or how to get something, and it would have been nice if the game made a note of this, because if you put the game down for a day or two, it could be hard to remember absolutely everything and where certain items are. There is a character that will give you hints, but they boil down to something along the lines of, oh, you need X item. It might be in a dorm room, and since there is no map or journal, you then have to go back through the castle and interact with basically everything in the rooms to hopefully find the item you're looking for. Eventually doing a full loop won't take too much time, and you are given items that will speed up your progression through the castle, but walking around these rooms, interacting with every single desk, every single bed, every single barrel, does get annoying. I do feel that the writing style of this game will be hit or miss. Generally, it's well written. The party banter is on point with some cheesy puns, and the party riffing off each other in a way that feels authentic. The emotional moments that just get more and more emotional as you go on hit hard as well. But I sometimes struggled with the brand of comedy. I laughed at Bonnie's stat page, but at one point I found a book called How to Survive When There's No Chocolate Around. And that's a joke that my mum might find funny, but I don't. It's by no means bad. At points it can be great, but at other points I cringed. I'm used to rock, paper, scissors style combat systems. Fire beats grass, water beats fire. But In Stars of Time actually has a rock, paper, scissors system. Spells and attacks have rock, paper or scissors damage types, and enemies have different strengths and weaknesses. And I love how the game makes it clear what weakness an enemy has. All you have to do is look for their hands in their sprite and you'll figure it out. You can buff your party, debuff enemies, and if you attack with 5 of the same damage types in a row, you can unleash a powerful attack that deals a lot of damage, which was an absolute godsend for some of these boss fights. The combat is simple, and since it's a short game, and you start at level 45, the combat doesn't change much across the 10 or 12 hours that it'll take you to beat it. I don't think this is an issue though, because I was here for the story, but even at that, every fight felt meaningful. They weren't so easy that I could completely zone out, but also weren't too hard that I was bashing my head off a wall trying to beat them. If any of what I discussed sounds interesting to you, then I encourage you to play this game. It respects your time at 8 to 12 hours playtime, it gives you a simple combat system, a minimalistic art style, and a great cast of characters that I'm so glad that I spent time with. While I think there could be some improvements made to the looping, making it slightly less obscure, I still think it's the best part of the game, as it just keeps creating more layers for you to explore, learning more about the world and your party, all while piecing together exactly what the king's motives are and how to stop them. I said it in the opening, and I still believe this is an actual hidden gem, something that I hope will make it onto many people's indie lists over the coming months, and that's why I liked it a lot. Thanks for watching. Are you interested in picking this game up? Because I think it'd be perfect for the Christmas break. I really appreciate you watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.